Warning! This video can be very helpful as it shares that it is possible to get over PTSD. You will discover my healing journey. Salut! I'm Valérie Ra, and I suffered from complex PTSD for more than 30 years. But I am now the hero of my journey and live a happy life. In this video, I will share the ups and the downs of my healing journey. My journey started at school when they taught me that nobody should touch my body. That helped me realize that I was abused. I really wanted to put a stop to it so I can live a normal life. At that time, I was young and I didn't know how to manage the situation. And I didn't know how to cope. I just did the best I was able to cope, the only way I was able. I decided that nobody will touch me again. That means not seeing my grandparent anymore. So I would ultimately be able to protect myself. To make things worse, I felt terrible because I was loving my grandmothers and knowing that she will suffer. I felt even worse about the situation because I should keep everything secret to not hurt her too much. I felt like my childhood just ended at that point. But I didn't really understand that the rest of my life would be impacted by the repetitive trauma. The year passed and I met my soulmate, JM, when I was 16. He helped me carry the weight of the secret and he protected me. He even asked me to marry him. And I said yes. I was looking forward to building a happy family with him. Then, during a family reunion, we had the possibility to go to the movie theater with my different cousin and my grandfather to see Titanic. I panicked, not knowing how I would be able to be in the same room as him. I didn't do that for a year. I was protecting myself. That day, I broke the silence and asked two cousins of mine if they were abused too. We managed the situation to go only the teens together to the movie. But when we came back that evening, the secret exploded at the family dinner. My life was upside down. I wasn't able to cope with the secret being exposed. Part of the family were on his side and the other part were on my side. And I had a lot of questions like, should I send him in prison? I was disturbed and I wasn't able to go back to school. And my future career ended then, which meant I was completely stressed out and felt like there was no way out. The PTSD diagnosis was now official. I had a label. I was a victim. I was having all the different symptoms. I started to go in therapy, but didn't get clear benefit out of it. That state persisted for multiple years. Then, as if by any chance, something amazing happened. That's when we had so much stuff that the movers cannot move it at all. And I needed to start decluttering, manipulating the object and having to sort them put me in touch with my deep emotions. And I cry and I laugh and I got angry. But I was now able to participate more during my therapy session and start managing my flashbacks and my nightmare. You know, it was now crystal clear to me how decluttering my space helps me decluttering my mind. This meant I could finally overcome my trauma. And I can now consider a happier life. A life with love with my children and my husband. I also learned that doing it alone doesn't work. You need to find someone you trust to help you. As a result, we decluttered our space, and I find out that my life was simpler and less stressful. We can then move to our next house, letting the trauma and the stuff behind. Let me know if it ever happened to you that you think that you got it, you think that you overcome the trauma. Just in the comment, say, yes, I overcame my trauma, or I'm still dealing with it, or I think I overcome it, but I'm still dealing with it. But when we were at the new place, there was still a problem. I was still accumulating stuff and starting to be invaded again with the stuff and simultaneously with the PTSD symptoms. I found myself back in therapy and learned how my action influenced my thoughts and then my emotion, but also that my emotion provoke my thoughts and that I behave according to them. So JM helped me to get back to square one. In fact, square, decluttering, and organizing. Suddenly, I was feeling much confident, much more, and started to consider myself happy. We ended up creating a system to declutter and organize on a regular basis, not just once in a while. We then thought, if we could create something that will make it even possible to help other people suffering from trauma, just like I was suffering with trauma, to cope with it, would be really happy. We then started a business and wrote a book. Put that stuff down. Coping with PTSD through a decluttering journey. And we can now help more people improve their quality of life and free themselves from trauma. And this is what's keeping me out of my trauma. My life has a purpose, and I am worthy. I overcame my PTSD at the point that her family is not affected anymore. And I also been able to reclaim my space and reclaim my peace of mind. If you want to know more about the concrete tips that help us declutter and organize, and also learn about some secrets that help me overcome my trauma, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Because this channel is all about helping you free yourself from the trauma through a decluttering and organizing journey. And remember, you create the life you want.